Hey everyone, it's Erica Stapleton with the 12 News I-Team. After more than 2 years of fighting, the lawsuit over conditions in Phoenix's largest homeless encampment is effectively over. This neighborhood out here looks a lot different than it did 1, even 2 or 3 years ago. This area I'm walking through now used to be filled with tents, but now it's effectively clear. The city put up no camping signs, but there are still signs of people needing help. In Joel Copeland's gallery,
Originally it was to try and cause awareness of what's going on.
art imitates life.
They just pass out and that's it for several hours.
The artist's downtown Phoenix gallery, filled with paintings portraying the Zone, the area by the Capitol that used to be Phoenix's largest homeless encampment. Copeland lives and works at 11th Ave and Jefferson, right near the heart of the neighborhood. But since the city was ordered to clear it out last year,
There's still lots of yelling and screaming and fighting and stuff that goes on. But I look out and the streets are empty.
Copeland is one of several downtown property owners to sue the city of Phoenix in 2022, claiming they weren't doing enough to keep conditions clean and safe in the encampment, which at its peak had more than 1,000 people sleeping on the streets.
It gets really trying when your backyard becomes the bathroom for the rest of the community.
Their lawyers claimed it was a public nuisance.
I really thought it was a stroke of genius.
The city fought the lawsuit in court, wanting to address the crisis on their own terms.
The city has gone above and beyond.
But a judge ultimately sided with the property owners, ordering Phoenix to clear out the encampment in 2023, which the city did. Many people were offered new shelter spaces or provided with expanding resources. And some people are still on the streets, just in different areas. Still, the city appealed the order to clear out the zone and lost that appeal this summer. The deadline for the city to file a motion to reconsider or a petition for review just passed without the city taking further action. When I asked the city if this meant the lawsuit was over, a spokesperson said the city was reviewing its options. Overall, the city spent close to $375,000 taxpayer dollars fighting the case in court. Lawyers for the property owners are calling it a win, once and for all. Do you think it should have taken a lawsuit to get to this point?
I'm glad it did, and I'm very grateful for the city for pursuing this. And I have a feeling that things are going to be much better as we go along.
Just because there's not camping allowed in this neighborhood doesn't mean people aren't sleeping on the streets in other parts of the city. And as resources ramp up, so do the needs of people experiencing homelessness. When darkness falls on the canal,
Chow time! Come here, guys! Dinner!
people come out of the shadows.
Vamos para comer!
Eric Sanchez runs the Masa Project of Arizona,
Make sure you guys get some dog food as well.
a volunteer group that offers aid to those experiencing homelessness.
We hand out food, Narcan, water, and free hugs, not drugs.
On this night,
Hello, hello.
it's dinner.
Come and get some food, you guys! It's nice and hot!
We don't want to go to sleep hungry. It's terrible.
No. Have you had to go to sleep hungry a lot of nights?
Yeah.
Isaac says he's been homeless for the past 4 years, staying on the canal here near 23rd Ave and Indian School.
I keep leaving this place and I come back.
He says he's struggled with drugs and struggled with getting help.
It's just like a big waiting list. Fall through the cracks like me is real hard.
I don't think we're bad people. We just don't have a home to go to.
Lacey says she's been out here since December after losing housing and not having enough money to pay bills.
Not knowing where you're going to sleep at night makes it kind of hard to be planned and ready for what you're supposed to do the next day if you didn't get robbed that night. So it's a lot to watch for out here. But this guy right here is amazing. He does more than just feed us. He really does.
Eric has his own style, armed, open to everyone,
Hey, brother. We got chow on the canal down there on the left.
always live streaming on social media.
Welcome in, everybody. Viewer discretion is advised anytime we're out here. It's reality.
But his grassroots efforts
How many people would you say come through the line every night?
Here, between 80 and 100.
have become essential.
And just looking at these people, they're living out of a shopping cart. They're obviously looking at their fentanyl, and it's a shock, just experiencing this. It's a horrible reality, but something that we have to do and keep them alive. There needs to be more resources at night. 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., there's not really much.
Do you see people out here that came from the zone area?
A lot.
For years, the Zone was Phoenix's largest homeless encampment, more than 1,000 people on the streets at its peak. Then, neighbors sued the city for not doing enough to keep the area clean and safe, and a judge ordered the city to close the encampment down. That happened last November, but it didn't mean homelessness just went away in Phoenix. The I-Team analyzed 15 months of data from the city, and after sifting out duplicates, found that calls for encampments or people needing help with homelessness went up in the months after the zone was cleared.
Some people have said that people just moved to a different location. The problem just shifted out of the neighborhood. What do you say to those claims?
Well, I definitely think that over the last decade, we have seen a huge increase in the number of people experiencing homelessness in our community. So what they're seeing and feeling is true. We are seeing more people experiencing homelessness.
Rachel Milne with Phoenix's Office of Homeless Solutions.
The city did successfully close all 15 blocks around the campus to camping. We made a commitment that we would offer every individual who was in that area an indoor place to go. Not everyone took us up on that offer, 82% did, but this was a nice alternative.
This being what the city calls its safe outdoor space, a structured campground that can serve as a step forward for someone not yet able or willing to take an indoor shelter bed. It's in downtown Phoenix, like a majority of homeless services, but Phoenix is working to bring on more shelter beds in other parts of the city, like a new 280-bed space planned for 71st Ave in Van Buren.
We could use more, I'll tell you that. Anytime we open up a new site, it gets filled up very quickly because there are just more people in need of shelter than we have space available.
Back out on the canal,
You're good. We got you.
efforts are making a dent.
I think it's getting better. I think more people are taking up to the treatment.
Eric still streaming as they get ready to move to a second spot.
Living like this is addicting.
He thinks the more visible the problem, the less likely people will get lost in the shadows.
And so you have to kind of adapt and approach on a different level. And so that's what we do.
Meet people where they're at.
Yes, yes. Sometimes it's from the ground up.
For years, the number of people experiencing homelessness in Maricopa County has exceeded the available shelter space, and that continues to be a problem. And as more resources are needed, funding becomes a big conversation.
Even though there's no camping allowed on the streets of the zone, there is camping allowed here.
It operates really just as a very well-organized shelter would run. The difference is we're outside.
This is Phoenix's safe outdoor space, a structured campground near 15th Ave in Jackson. It wasn't the city's first option, but came about after shelter plans in another spot fell through due to environmental concerns. It opened last November.
And things are going really well.
Do you think the city should have started something like this sooner?
This space is ideal for what we have here.
Rachel Milne, the director of Phoenix's Office of Homeless Solutions.
I hear a lot in the community, just make a big campground out in the desert. That really is not going to work. It's far too hot here in Arizona. We needed a space like this with ample shade, access to air conditioning.
The site has round-the-clock security, bathrooms, laundry, meal times, even space for pets. Capacity is 300, between tents or shipping container rooms.
We do require them to be working on their case management, ending their homelessness.
Right now, they average about 230 to 250 people staying here.
These two cubbies are mine, those two are hers.
Including Ralph Perez and his wife.
From a year ago, we were sleeping under a bridge on 35th Avenue and Baseline.
He said he and his wife were homeless for about 3 years, struggling with drugs, struggling to find a shelter that would take them together.
We didn't have money, so we stole a lot, And now I don't have to do that here because they loved on us. When I say they loved on us, they fed us, they make sure we had somewhere to rest our head.
His wife now has a job, and he...
How long have you been sober?
Since January.
Steps forward.
Even though we're homeless, this is the happiest we've ever been.
A temporary solution to a chronic problem.
The most immediate outlook is really dire.
Amy Schwabenlender runs Keys to Change, a collection of homeless services in downtown Phoenix. They have about 900 beds on the campus, which are perpetually full.
The one-time funding didn't add enough capacity for everyone who's experiencing homelessness. And homelessness continues to increase, and we're full.
The one-time funding she's talking about is COVID relief funding, which ends by the end of 2024.
And that means we told 47 employees on October 1st that their jobs would be winding down and the programs would be ending.
Some of their housing programs, meaning 200 people will also need new housing or shelter by the week of Thanksgiving.
We don't have replacement funding for all of that. It is achievable to accomplish it. It is daunting.
Daunting in part because COVID relief will be ending for other providers too.
Knowing this money is ending and we really haven't had a regional response, it's a miss for me. We had a window of opportunity and I think we missed doing something differently.
Phoenix has also had to shift its shelter operations as needs and funding changes, like closing down temporary hotel shelter spaces.
We've closed down all of those now except one.
But to make up for it,
we have, over the last several years, brought on hundreds of shelter beds. We've got 590 under construction right now.
She says operations and construction have been mostly funded by temporary pandemic resources.
We built that infrastructure, and now it's our community's responsibility to figure out how we're going to fund those operations moving forward.
The structured campground is in the budget for the next 2 years. After that, the City of Phoenix will reevaluate. In downtown Phoenix, I'm Erica Stapleton for the 12 News I-Team.